So here we are. We are live yet again on the YouTube, moonlighting from Facebook Live because, like I said before, I'm in Facebook jail, rotting away in Facebook jail. So I need to use another platform to have my purge. I don't know what to say really anymore about the deplorables. Now they want to ban baseball and NASCAR and the NBA and football, and they just boycotting everything now because they didn't get their way. Because people don't believe the same bullshit that they believe, I suppose. Pretty humorous to me, really, when you think about it. It's funny how they're always accusing everybody of canceling the culture. Everybody wants to cancel culture because they don't want to put up with their racist bullshit, their ignorant bullshit. It's pretty thought-provoking for me. It overwhelms my thought process with the hypocrisy of it all. Sometimes I sit here and I don't really know what world I'm living in anymore. I don't know that anyone holds themselves accountable anymore. And yeah, I'll be completely fair. I'm weary of the left side also. That's what people, I don't think they get that about me, is that I am who I need to be in certain circumstances. It's hard to explain, but I understand. I have my brain wrapped around the political sphere and the environment of American politics. I understand it. I've went out of my way to have my brain pretty well wrapped around what's going on and try to remain fair and in the middle. With my conversations with myself, sometimes I have conversations with myself that you're not privy to, you see. I have my best conversations with myself because I can be the most fair. And I can argue both sides, and I can come to a fairly reasonable conclusion. And see, that's what I do with me. I'm not in a position where I can do that with you so much because I'm in the process of trying to fight bias and ignorance. So it's like the bad cop mode. I mean, teachers have the bad cop mode. They have the good cop, they have the bad cop. I mean, you have to have as many tools in your box as you possibly can to adequately educate and enlighten. And two of the biggest tools are the good cop and the bad cop. I mean, there's always a time when somebody needs you to be nice, and needs you to be understanding, and needs you to be thoughtful. And then there are times when people need you to beat them down and build them back up good. Different circumstances call for different techniques, let's say. It's just like anybody else. I mean, you'd need a different tool to fix different things. I mean, you don't use the same tools to lay concrete as you do to hammer nails. It's just that simple. It's the same thing when you're talking about people, when you're talking about educating the masses, enlightening people. You have to have different tools in your toolbox. Well, unfortunately for you, I got motivated at a time period when I had to be the bad guy. I had to piss on the bullies. I had to beat down the bullies because that's what they were doing. They were bullying people. They were trying to shove their religious notions down everybody's throats. They were trying to shove their nationalist views down everybody's throats. They were trying to impose their will on everyone else, audaciously so. I mean, in our courts, in our policy, just audaciously getting up there and saying, we're bullies and what are you going to do about it? We got McConnell in his position. We put all these rats in a position to do their damage and do their ratly deeds. You got DeVos over here fucking with education. You've got this one over here, a white supremacist in charge of strategy and what we're doing as a policy. It was just those circumstances called for a different type of person from me. Like I said, I was the rat in the cage. I was the bad guy in the cage, so I was going to act like the bad guy in the cage. Yes, I am liberal-minded. Yes, I believe in people need health care. People need educated. I believe in these things with my whole heart. I think what America does best for humanity is care for humanity and protect humanity and serve humanity. I don't think America should be imposing its will on humanity. It's ignorant, conservative, outdated notions of what people should be. Egocentric notions of what the world should look like. Should the world look like what we see with our American eyes? I don't think that's really fair. I don't think that's fair to the rest of the world. I don't think that's fair to the rest of the country. Should the country look like your white conservative Christian eyes see it? Should the world have to look like you want it to look? Because see, that's what you guys were doing. Not us. We weren't trying to cancel any cultures. We weren't trying to make Muslims unequal. We weren't trying to make immigrants unequal. We weren't trying to make women unequal. We weren't trying to make people who didn't bow to the flag unequal. That was you. That wasn't me. I don't want you to be unequal. As a deplorable, to me, you're like the Confederates. You fucked up, so now we got to let you try again. It's incumbent upon me to be forgiving and understanding of you. I must find it in myself to forgive you. No matter how many times you threatened my life, no matter how many times you threatened to kick the shit out of me, no matter how many times you ran my name through the mud and brought my children and my family into these arguments, no matter how many times you went low, I still got to find it in myself to forgive you for what you've done. And I must say that's tough because I'm a stubborn son of a bitch. I'm stubborn. And when I get my juices flowing, and when I get pissed off about something, first and foremost, it doesn't happen often. I mean, I have little spouts. I have a funny kind of anger. But when I really get pissed off about something and I really want to lay my teeth into something and I'm motivated by something, it's a nasty proposition. My demons can work overtime. And you cut me at my core with these last 4 years, with the things that you've done. Because you have attacked education in this country. You would like it that people are not educated, because the dumber someone is, the more they'll believe your shit. You want to make it harder for people to be educated. You want people to think that, yeah, hey man, I'm all about the trade union. I'm all about learning a trade and making some bankable skills and making money and making this society better through your work, your trade. You want to be a grease monkey, you want to be a carpenter, you want to be a welder, you want to be a ditch digger. I don't care what you want to do. But I think that when you try to make intellectually gifted and educated people the bad guys, when you want to make liberal minded, educated people the bad guys, when you want to say that going to college makes you an indoctrinated liberal and you don't have no say because you're just brainwashed by education, when you want to make that the truth, that pisses me off. And it doesn't just piss me off for myself, it pisses me off for my children, for their children, for the future of this country. You want to resort back to being the biggest bully on the block. You want to be like the Romans. You want to be like the British Empire. You want to be like the Mongols and the Mesopotamians and all these old people that just beat everyone up and took what they wanted. You want to worry about having the biggest military so you can just snuff anybody out at any time. Okay, I'm all about that. We have to defend ourselves, but we should not be using our military to impose our will on others. And that's what we're doing. That's what we've been doing for a while. But that's way off in the future. You guys aren't even ready to discuss that yet because you can't be fair about it. You can't be fair you can't be objective. And America needs you to be objective and to be fair and to be honest. And first and foremost, you have to understand what the fuck you're talking about. And you don't. You don't. So the obstacle that a man like me has in this time, trying to be the best I can be for my kids and myself and my country and Jesus and anybody else that you want to say, what I have to do is I have to stand up to this bullshit. You put me in that position. You dealt me these cards and now I have to play my hand. And I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be always up in your shit for how fucking stupid you are. That's an unfair burden on me that I got to worry about how fucking stupid you are. Why can't you worry about it? But see, here I am being the bad guy again. And I don't want to be the bad guy. I'm not the bad guy anymore. You see? Now that a somewhat democratic, somewhat liberal-minded, somewhat non-deplorable is in charge, we can start to kind of try to get back to where we should have been all along. Back towards the middle. We're steering back towards the middle because, as I've already established time and time and time again, is that you sons of bitches veered way off to the right. You got conservative, very conservative, closed-minded, biased, prejudiced, just selfish, self-righteous. Any bad adjective that you can find, that's what you've become. And you take pride in it. You take pride in the good shit that you're personifying. The bad shit that we've established over history, time and time again, that is bad shit. Conservative religion is bad shit. Okay? It always ends up bad. It's almost absolute in history, and it's hard to find an absolute in history. And one absolute in history is that conservative religion leads you down a bad fucking road. It happens every time. Time and time and time again. Ask Jesus, he'll tell you. The point is that if you are personifying conservative religious notions in this country, you need to sit down and shut the fuck up because you're not objective. You're not being fair. You're not being honest. You are bringing your prejudice and bias to bear for this country. And that ain't fair. And that ain't right. And that's not what we do here. It's explicitly said so. It says so explicitly in the Constitution. You so love. You say you love the Constitution, but yet you still want to shove your conservative religious notions down everybody else's fucking throat in this country. You know what that makes you? That makes you a fucking hypocrite. Because you can't claim to love the Constitution and then also endeavor to shove your conservative religious notions down other people's throat in this country. You can't have the same thing. You can't have them both. If you love the Constitution and you know in the First Amendment, it says you can't do that shit. Explicitly so. They make no bones about it, bro. You cannot establish a religion. You cannot discriminate against a religion. There's no wiggle room there. And your nationalist views. Let's discuss your nationalist views. Because sometimes I don't think you understand really what I'm talking about. So let me break it down for you. Your ultra-nationalist views, your conservative-minded nationalist views. It's the notion that you think just because you're an American that your shit don't stink. That Americans are the greatest people on the face of the planet. And yeah, we live in the greatest society in the history of the history. But that don't make us perfect. We ain't the very best. In fact, we fucked up quite a bit. And we continue to. On a daily basis. Nobody's fucking perfect. You don't get to be special because you're an American. The Romans didn't. The Egyptians didn't. The British colonies did. They didn't do it either. Where did worshiping the king get us? It's the same thing with America. You cannot pretend that your shit don't stink. That's nationalism, ultra patriotism, extreme patriotism, like the fucking Nazis, like the Soviets, like the Romans. Do you notice a pattern here? Bad shit. These notions lead to bad shit. And when you apply these notions in our society, you are leading us to shit. And we can't have it. That's what our forefathers gave us the Constitution for fuck's sake, so we don't have it. Do you know what made our forefathers so wise in their youth. They were young when they did this, folks. They were young kids. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. There was very few older patriots because most of the older people in America were conservative British loyalists because they made their money off of Britain. See, it's a fight between liberal minds and conservative minds from the very beginning of history. And you don't even get it. You don't understand it. And you need to learn to. You need to figure it out. Or you need to shut the fuck up. Because as you've always done, you are holding the rest of humanity back with your conservative notions, with your closed-minded, biased, and prejudiced views of things, with your egocentrism, which you just think the world revolves around you, don't you? You have to believe that. See, that's the entitlement that they talk about when they talk about us Americans. We're entitled. Like we think the world revolves around us, and it doesn't. It revolves around the fucking sun. Science taught you that. It's going to keep spinning whether America's here or not. Unless we destroy it. So the point is that you need to learn objectivity. You need to learn to be objective about things, even if it hurts, until it hurts, and then some more. So let's break that down for you. There's a difference between being objective and being subjective. Subjective means that you're worried about you. Objectivity requires you to be fair and honest. Be self-aware, to know that maybe I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about here. That's what objectivity requires you to do, to be able to know your own limitations. To know that maybe I don't understand this as well as I think. Maybe I'm being biased. Maybe I'm being prejudiced. Maybe I'm just being down outright fucking selfish and greedy and no fucking good. Could be. I've been that way before. So I don't even know. It's like I said, these YouTubes are off the wall purges because I haven't really had the time to focus with some typing and some tending. So this is just one big projectile vomit, I suppose. And I guess what really got me was seeing that now, I mean, you guys can't like nothing. You can't watch your football no more. You got a bunch of fucking redneck Nazis out there. Can't drink their beer and watch football. Can't watch NASCAR no more. You're pissed off at NASCAR. You're pissed off at Major League Baseball. You're pissed off at basketball. You're pissed off at the FBI and the CIA. You're pissed off at the media. You're pissed off at every fucking body, aren't you? Just a bunch of fucking pissy pantses. That's what you are. You call me a pissy pants. That's what you guys are. You're pissed off about everything. They're taking away Mr. Potato Head. You're mad. Right? They took away Yosemite Sam's fucking gun. Who gives a flying fuck? I'm still going to watch the Looney Tunes. I love the Looney Tunes. Just stupid. You call us snowflakes. Listen to you bitching about all kinds of petty shit. Children are dying in the fucking street. Children are caged. Children are stupid. Children are dying because they don't have the medicine they absolutely need to survive. And you're worried about fucking Yosemite Sam. You're worried about whether some guys that play baseball or basketball for a living are bowing for or kneeling for the flag. So what? Let them make their kneel. Who cares? Obviously, you care, Snowflake. Personally, I think that was a righteous stand. The Kaepernick made there. That's how they got you. They tugged on your nationalist strings with that, didn't they? The old Kaepernick thing. How dare he kneel down, right? How dare he stand up for his people by kneeling and making a stand with quotations because he knelt. He knelt to make a stand. He knelt to bring awareness to a problem, which he did. You guys can't stop bitching about the fact that we want to hold the authority accountable, can you? You can't stop bitching for the man. We give you these rights to uphold law, and we want you to be held accountable to them. We want you to be fair and honest. How dare we make our authority fair and honest, right? How dare we hold them accountable for their misdeeds, right? What are you, somebody's little bitch? You think that they're allowed to take advantage of us just because they wear that badge, that we give them that power and then they're allowed to take advantage of that power? Is that what you think's okay? Who's got you turned out like a little bitch? Not me. I'm not a little bitch. You are. Law enforcement should be fair and honest and treat people equally and be held accountable for when they don't. Because that's their job, goddammit. They are held to a higher standard. And if they can't live up to that standard, then they need to answer for it and be made to do so. Or don't wear that badge. Simple. Fair. Logical and reasonable, even. I mean, and I'll be fair too. I mean, yeah, people are people. People are going to make mistakes. Human nature, blah, blah, blah. Hey, I'll give you all kinds of rope to hang yourself with, but if you're going to hang yourself, then you need to do some swinging. You can't continue to get away with being corrupt. And it comes down to accountability. Really. We have to hold ourselves accountable before we can start to hold other people accountable. And you got people out there that want to rule the world, but they don't even want to hold themselves accountable for the bullshit that they do. It's amazing. And you see all these things. I just want to point to one that I see that just it's a burr in my craw. It just gets down in there and it digs. And it's just the hypocrisy of it all, I suppose, that really digs at me. You look at like a guy like Al Franken, the guy, way back. It seems like way back in the day, but it was really only a couple years ago that he got accused of being inappropriate with a chick. So he resigned. He got done. Bowed out. What it was is that we were starting to shine a light on what deplorable individuals these guys were. So they tried to throw us under the bus too for being human. So a guy like Al Franken bows out. Great, he bows out, says, "Okay, you got me. I'm gone." But then you got a guy like Kavanaugh who's sitting on the Supreme Court. Got a guy like that Gates or Getz or whatever that guy, he just got caught getting it on, which, I mean, he's not a pedophile, but he's damn sure he's a dick. I mean, he's a sleazy guy. And whatever, I don't know that makes him a bad politician, but I'll try to be fair. But I think that guy needs to hold himself accountable before I can trust his word again. Come clean. Be honest. There's a difference between having to make up shit to make somebody look bad and not have to make up shit to make somebody look bad. There's a difference between saying somebody's not American and pretending like they're a Muslim terrorist and saying that, and like Trump, for instance, everybody knows that Trump likes them young. He walks in on Miss Teen pageants and he's just a dirty, sleazy guy. He hung out with Epstein. He was doing, he talks about grabbing pussy like, he's playing basketball in the backyard. So, he's just fucking dirty scumbucket. But yeah, you worship him like the golden fucking calf. It just boggles my mind, the hypocrisy that I see on a daily basis from people that otherwise I love and respect. Sometimes I don't know what world I'm living in. Maybe I never knew all along. Maybe the world was never different. It was just hidden better. That's what it was. These people were always really like this. They just for a while they knew that they couldn't really be so outward about it. Then Trump came along and no holds were barred. You can be the biggest fucking piece of shit on the face of the planet and still get to be the president. So why not be the biggest piece of shit on the face of the planet, right? Dumb, ignorant, sleazy, mean. He's just a vile human being. And there's no other way to describe it. He's a glutton. He's greedy. Sloth, lust, 7 deadly sins personified. But he can be president and everybody can love him. 70 million of you dumb sons of bitches think it's okay to be like that. That's what we should hold up to make America great again. That's what's going to make America great again. A punk ass, stupid piece of shit rich boy who never worked for a goddamn thing in his life. Lived off his daddy's money since the day he came out his mom's puss. That's what America is. Makes me want to vomit. It makes you guys want to cheer and it makes me want to vomit. That's where we're at. Welcome to post-deplorable. I don't know. There's a half hour of a righteous projectile vomit for you. Things that I ponder. Things that keep me awake at night. Is it where do we go from here? Where can we go from here? Well, you'll see. You see what we've been doing. Vaccines have been going through. Everybody's getting a vaccine. We're trying to protect people, trying to infuse some more money back into the economy, but of course they're holding it up. You know, the deplorables are being deplorable and being pissy pants while the rest of us are trying to help people and get shit back in order. We're still being concerned about the virus, but we're starting to slowly open back up to and being cautious. Still being cautious, but we're still tiptoeing back to where we should be. You notice that, right? You notice that things are kind of getting back to normal. Everybody's not always so stressed all the time, it seems. Not a lot of bitching. I mean, the deplorables are bitching, but who pays attention to them anyway? They like Donald Trump, right? That's how it's got to get to. That's what it's got to get to. It's got to get to, okay, tell me when you're ready to say that you fucked up and that guy's a piece of shit and there's no way in hell he should have ever been sitting in the seat high on top of America. Yes, Hillary would have been better. Absolutely better. When you're ready to admit that you fucked up in that way, that colossally, then maybe we'll start caring about what you're bitching about. But you just keep bitching about your stupid shit. Your stupid, petty, subjective bullshit. Don't worry, I'm a Christian too. I'm not going to let them persecute Christians. Don't worry, I won't let them throw little Christian kids in the cages. I'm not going to let them, I'm not going to let them take away your flags. Go ahead, fly them. The point is that America has always been great. And as far as I'm concerned, it always will be great. And I will continue to fight to make sure that it is. You can pretend like it was great. We keep making it greater. We've never had to make it great again. We keep making it greater. And that's what we're doing. Again. So, about 2/3 through. And I must say, that I am concerned about something that I do need to discuss. And I do need to say this, especially now that, you're watching the March Madness and I'm getting the competitive juices flowing. And I'm weary of the drastic backlash towards liberal that could happen. After we went veering off to the right so far, it's like a pendulum. If you swing that pendulum way right, it's going to swing way back left. And you got to be careful with that. Okay? You can't allow because they've been screaming about the extreme left for a long time, and they haven't even seen the extreme left. But something that is kind of extreme left right now is these transgendered athletes. This has to be discussed because this is allowing the pendulum to swing way back left, to left. Now let's establish something here. We're talking about post-pubescent. If these individuals have been through puberty, have been through a male puberty with testosterone, with everything that goes into males becoming a man. If we're talking about high school kids taking away women's state championships as they are transitioning towards a female, that is not fair. It's not fair. It spits in the face of the notion of a fair competition and a level playing field. You cannot have males competing with females and taking away their accomplishments. We can't allow that to happen. Women should be able to have their accomplishments athletically. Because it's not fair. I'm sorry. It's not fair. As a rule. Sure, there are some chicks out there that can compete with guys. In basketball, in football, in wrestling, in track and field. There are some females that can compete with a lot of guys. Of course, you're not going to find a woman that can outrun Bolt. You're not going to find too many women that can go as fast as the fastest guy. So we have to be fair to our daughters, to our females growing up. And we cannot allow a biological male to compete with females. Sure, when they're young, they can all play together. That's fine. But when we're talking about championships and competing for titles, for credentials, we cannot allow a male to come in and take a female's achievement in that manner. It's just not fair. It's not fair to our women. And we cannot allow the pendulum to swing back like that. Sure, you can compete. Go ahead, you can compete. But if a male comes in and runs faster than all the other girls, that isn't fair. And you should give that second place female is the best female runner. I'm sorry, but that's what's fair. And I don't care if it hurts your children's feelings. They need to understand that this is fair. It's not fair for them to benefit from what a male puberty can give them athletically. As a rule, we do tend to be quicker and stronger and more agile as a male right now in our evolution. It's fair to say that. Maybe in a couple of generations that won't be the case. I don't know. But right now we're not there. As a rule, males are faster, quicker, stronger, more agile. As a rule. And that's a fair statement. And girls should not have to pay for that. If you wanna transition towards female and that's what you want your lifestyle to be, fine. But in this case, they're right. Facts are facts. You have benefited from a male puberty and all that goes with that. Science tells us that there's a difference between estrogen and testosterone. It just is what it is. Now, but by the same token, I think that we have to consider circumstances too. I mean, if you were running track as a guy and you're running, I don't know, 10 seconds flat, but still losing to guys that are running 9.9s and 9.8s and 9.7s, and then you decide you want to be a female and go run with girls with your 10 flat, that ain't fair. It ain't fair. And you should know that. I want us to be fair for everyone. Try to be. I want us to be able to consider every circumstance and be fair within that circumstance. I know it's hard. I know it's tough. And I know it's very idealistic of me and perfectionist and OCD and whatever. But I really wish that we could get to that point where we try to be fair to everyone and really try to endeavor to have everyone be as equal as we possibly can make them. But by the same token, God helps those who help themselves. So I see that side of it too. But anyway, we're way off course of any kind of focus. And that's indicative of my YouTube videos. So like I said, it's just a projectile purge. There really is no rhyme or reason. There's no focus. Just getting it out of my system. Probably going to get to play some ball this weekend, because it'll be nice. Get to see the Eagles. Get to see the boy all weekend. So it's fingers crossed. God willing, it'll be okay. I don't know. It's about 10 minutes left. And I want to give you your full Loonie Liberal Power Hour with your host, Lance Richards. I don't know if that's the first time I said it or not, but I want to give you your full hour. You know, you advertise a power hour, you better give an hour. So 10 minutes. I don't know. I kind of see the thing that really gets me. Well, one of the things that really gets me is people are talking about the greatest ever. Everybody wants to discuss the GOAT. This term gets chucked around quite a bit, and I'm sure that this is just one of my old fogey, over the hill, whippersnapper, get off my lawn kind of speeches. I'm sure. I mean, I'm entitled to them now. I get to be whippersnapper, get off my lawn kind of guy. I've got that in my toolbox now too. And I want to bust it out for this whole GOAT thing. Everybody wants to talk about the GOAT. Who's the GOAT here? Who's the best rapper? Who's the best basketball player? Who's the GOAT? Okay, let's get something established first and foremost. GOAT stands for greatest of all time. It's an acronym. And it means exactly what it says. The greatest of all time. Okay, that's not something that you can just chuck around all willy-nilly to whoever comes along and catches your eye today. Whoever made you feel good about yourself today. Okay, we got people talking about these fucking 69 and Machine Gun Kelly and all these greatest of all time. Are you fucking shitting me, greatest of all time? The one that really gets me, the one that really sticks in my craw, is the LeBron and Michael Jordan discussion. Now, I want to try to be fair about this. I really do. And I know I'm biased. I know I'm prejudiced. I know that when I started loving basketball, Michael was the GOAT. He was the greatest player on the planet. See, basketball was different. Baseball, football, I'm a team guy. I'm a Browns fan. I'm an Indians fan. I'm Ohio, Cleveland. That's my pap was from Canton, so that the roots go deep. That was I came out of the womb loving the Browns. I came out of the womb loving the Tribe. That's who I am. But when it comes to basketball, I got love for the player. And the reason that I love the Chicago Bulls is because Michael Jordan played for the Chicago Bulls. To me, Michael Jordan was the basketball player, the best basketball player who ever laced up tennis shoes. Because that's who I watched. And yes, there is a part of that I am very subjective about because I lived that time. And basketball just isn't the same to me. Watching basketball isn't the same. Back then, I watched every game he played in. Every game I could watch that he played in, I watched. But now, I'll watch March Madness and maybe some NBA finals. So it's basketball's not the same to me. So yes, I am very biased. Very prejudiced when it comes to, I think Michael is the greatest of all time. And I don't think anybody touches him yet. I don't think anybody touches him right now. And the problem is that, to be fair and to be honest, you can't overlook LeBron in this discussion anymore. 5 years ago, you could. 10 years ago, you could. But right now, after 20 years of dominating that league, no matter how soft I think that league is now, I'm a them whippersnappers don't play ball like we played ball. And of course, I have that bias. I think it's the truth, but you may call it bias. I also understand, I also appreciate the type of player that LeBron is compared to MJ. See, MJ was an assassin. He was a sniper. He was just score at will and lock you down. He was the best. There's nobody that can compare to his killer instinct and he's undefeated in the championship game. I mean, his credentials speak for themselves. He was the ultimate winner, which was what it was all about to him. LeBron he's a different character. He's a different cat altogether. He's not the same kind of player. He's a different kind of player. In a lot of ways, he's more well-rounded. I mean, he's a facilitator. See, Michael wants to take your heart. Michael wants to snatch your heart out of your chest. LeBron wanted to get other people's involved and collectively take your heart. And yeah, he'd probably be there at the end to take it. And sometimes he failed at taking it. But he had a different mindset. Michael wanted to kill you every play. LeBron wanted to facilitate to others to get to the point where they could kill you. It was just a different mindset. LeBron also can guard everybody. And now, yeah, sure, Michael would go and he could take care of a big man by helping and going and stealing from him and blocking him. And he was a different kind. LeBron can play defense 1 through 5. He can guard your point guard and he can guard your center. He can lock down everybody if he chooses to. He can be your highest rebounder. He can be your highest assist man. He can be your highest scorer at will, anytime he wants. Now, yeah, Michael Jordan could fill up a stat sheet. But LeBron James does everything elite. He is capable of being the best at everything. He is a player that we really haven't seen ever. The closest to him would be probably Magic Johnson. He's more of a Magic Johnson player to me. I would not compare LeBron to Michael. I would compare LeBron to Magic. And it would be just as good of a compliment from me. Because you got to understand that when Magic came into the league, his rookie year, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was hurt, and he played center in the finals. And I think he got a triple-double. So Magic knew how to be a facilitator and be a big part of a team. And he could do everything good. And try, in an objective manner, loving the game as much as I love Michael, I can see where LeBron is starting to get on the same level because of how he has been. He's a different kind of player. I don't even really know how to explain it, but he's in the conversation now, and that's maddening to me. It sends off all my bias and prejudice bells. It's like, oh, how dare they talk about MJ? Because MJ has an aura for me. I'm in awe. I was in awe. I continue to be in awe. I still see him playing basketball. I'm just like, because it's Michael Jordan. And LeBron has put me in that awe too. He has, but it's more, of course, it's not a kid awe. It's an adult awe. He has made me start to question whether he can take the place of my GOAT. But I don't see that happening in any other GOAT. So save me your GOAT. The only other GOAT that you can claim is Tom Brady. And I hate to say it, no matter how bad I hate to say it. And LeBron and Tom are the same in a lot of ways because, like Michael, all the great players in NBA history, they usually had a good team with them. LeBron James drug mediocre teams to the championships over and over and over again for a decade. For a long, long time, LeBron drug average and mediocre teams to the promised land. And that's what separates him from Michael too. Is that Michael had to have a good team around him. And then he went and won 6. But he took a lot of beatings to get there. So it's hard for me to be objective about that debate. But now I have to admit that we're going to have that debate. When LeBron's done, we're going to have that serious objective debate. I hate to say it, and it kills me to say it. And I'm like, a whippersnapper, get off my porch with your crazy LeBron skateboard. But I'm going to have to be fair eventually. It's going to hurt to do so, but I'm going to. I'll let you know when that time comes. That's been my hour. We went everywhere today. It was good to see you. Be good, be kind, be fair, be honest, be a good person. You know, the same rigmarole I say every time. Fairly Righteous Man out.